Okay, this is the second example that I'm going to cover in conditionals, and we are in the third chapter of the Schneider component of our textbook, and we're looking at, again, structures that control flow, and we introduced the if statement as a conditional. I want to do two things here. I have one more example. I'm going to work on page 413 of your textbook. We have example number 8, and that's page 413. If you want to take a look at it, it has on the right-hand margin a flow chart. I want to start with that flow chart. All right. So we did cover flow charts earlier in the semester, and I want to just point out a couple things with this particular flow chart. So first, and my mouse is kind of going a little bit funky here, so we'll lose that. But if you take a look at the top part, and we'll read from top down here, we have a kind of a oval shape that shows us a start. And if you go over to the second pane and down at the bottom, you can see where this particular flow chart ends. And so this flow chart should be displayed vertically as one continuous document. We've broken it up to make it fit the format of this video. The next shape you'll see, it says get GPA. Okay, and anytime you see a parallelogram, that's for input or output. And so we need to get some information input from the user. The next symbol we see working down vertically is a conditional. And so the condition is going to say if the GPA is greater than or equal to 3.9, if that is true, then the program is going to branch to the right. And it will award honors to summa cum laude. If that's not true, then it drops down to the next condition. And it checks to see if the GPA is greater than or equal 3.6. And then if that's true, then there's other honors that are assigned. And then lastly, if that condition is not true, it will go over and check to see if the GPA is greater than or equal to 3.3. And it gives us another awarding of honors. And lastly, if it's false, it will go ahead and assign honors, just a period there, indicating that you don't have any honors. All right? The very last parallelogram that you see says display, you've graduated, and then it also adds to it whatever the honors might be. All right? Program ends with a kind of an oval again. Let's write that program. I'm going to augment it just a little bit. All right, so here's my interpreter screen, my editor that goes along with that. So I'm going to go ahead and follow that program. You can follow along with me. Again, page 413. GPA equals, and we're using the eval statement again because we're not quite sure if they're going to put in, actually we are pretty sure they're going to put a floating point with the GPA, but they could possibly put an integer. And so ask for an input. The user will enter in their GPA. Okay. So now stored in the variable GPA is going to be the user's GPA. Let's write our conditional. So if GPA is greater than or equal to, and I think we said 3.9. Remember our syntax for if conditional, we set up the parameters for that. In this particular one, the condition that we are using as parameters is GPA is greater than or equal to 3.9. We put a full colon. And then what do we do if it is greater than or equal to 3.9? Well, I'm going to augment this a little bit. We'll just say, we'll call this high honors. Okay, so if somebody gets that particular value for their GPA, they get high honors. All right. Now we use with Python, we'll use indenting to indicate which series of steps we want to complete, because we could complete more than one step here if the GPA is greater than 3.9. I'll backspace here. I'm going to do an if, or excuse me, elif. So this is else, or if else, GPA is greater than or equal to 3.0. make honors equal to just the word honors. Okay, and then lastly, if both those conditions aren't true, we'll just have a single else statement. It's kind of the catch-all. Else, and this is what we'll do if neither of those are true. We'll say honors. We'll just say no honors. So if somebody gets lower than a GPA of 3.0, they don't have honors, right? Now, we had input, we did some processing here. Now let's do some output. So I'll say print. This student has graduated with, again, we're going to concatenate, nice term to use, with the plus symbol. And that just combines those two lines. All right, so this should say, this student has graduated with, and then whatever honors. All right, I'll save, and then I'm going to run this. So under my GPA, let's say I'm a high GPA of 3.95. It says that this student has graduated with high honors. Let's check it again. What if this student has honors? Let's say 3.2. Well, that seems to work. We'll try the third condition. Let's say they have a 2.9. The student has graduated with no honors. Okay? And then we can test some of these places. Another nice place to test would be 3.90. Where does that fall into place? Do they have high honors or do they have just honors? They have high honors. And if we go back and take a look at it, the way that we've set this up, if it's greater than or equal to 3.9. Right? Last test. What if they have 3.89? The student's just going to graduate with honors. Okay, so we're testing at those various levels that we've set up for our conditions.